The CS2 market seems to be crashing pretty much all across the board. If we want to look at our overall market cap, we were at around 5.1 billion and now we dropped down to 4.5. We've worked a little bit way back up to 4.6, but this is a significant drop considering what we once were at just a couple weeks ago. If we want to look at the 7-day, we're down over 10%, which is insane. And it all comes obviously on the back of Valve's latest update with the trade reversal inside of it. Now it's very interesting. If we want to look at specific areas, it's definitely infected some more than others. If we want to look in the last 24 hours, though, it seems like some items are on a slight road to recovery. They're still down in the 7 days significantly. The majority of items have realized they might have overcorrected a little bit. In my honest opinion, I don't think we should be really seeing any major crash because of this, especially with these high tier items. We're talking about skins that are tens of thousands of dollars. There's no reason for them to be impacted by someone having a 1,000 item limit inside of their inventory. And that's exactly what we're seeing here. The majority of items have started to creep back up, especially the ones that are on the higher end here. Skinland is today's sponsor, and they're also sponsoring you with a free $10 on your first trade. It's where I personally sell my skins because you're going to be getting the highest rate out there. They're offering a maximum amount of money in a minimum amount of time, and it's going to be nearly instant with tons of different payout options. Combine that with their massive marketplace where you're going to be able to buy anything in the entire game you're looking for with a ton of different deposit options here as well. Right now, this is the #1 place to go ahead and sell or buy skins in my personal opinion, so go ahead, use code MasterShiny and check them out today. Now, the one area that's a little bit unique is the Austin Major, and talking about the Austin Major, the surprise that there hasn't been a sale so far is significant for me, but it seems like it's actually been extremely good news for one area. That's going to be the sticker capsule ROI. If we want to look at it, our contenders capsule is over 60%, which is a very strong ROI pre-sale, and we're actually not too far off with the contenders autograph or the challengers as well. All three of these are in a very solid position, significantly different than the other three capsules being your legends, your challengers autograph, and your legends autograph. Those three are really down in the dumps, and obviously your champions capsule is always a bad investment. Souvenir packages still staying relatively the same. We're still seeing some pretty decent interest, at least right now, but this is most likely going to fall off pretty hard. Honestly, this is not something I see super long term being a very great investment unless we see obviously that interest sustained, which is not what we've seen in the past. Overall though, Austin is in a pretty okay position, surprisingly enough. Now talking about our case market, things could not be going honestly better than what they are right now. We're seeing the majority of rare cases have slight to no pullback because of this overall update implication, at least when we're looking at the Steam community market for prices. This is a really good sign of obviously the rare cases being a fundamentally strong investment, and honestly that's exactly what we expected to see because of this update, but it's great to have that validated. Many of these cases are in very strong positions moving forward just because of the straight unboxing numbers we see with them. The majority of cases inside of this area are still in a great position. Your active duty ones have dropped down significantly in some areas, but that's to be expected. They're a volatile bad investment, but I'm extremely satisfied with what we're seeing overall. The fundamentals show that rare cases are still becoming a very valuable commodity. Day by day they are getting increasingly more valuable, and that's honestly something that is extremely validated by the prices barely moving at all because of this update. It's not something that we expected them to absolutely blow up because of, but the fact that they haven't decreased at all in price is an absolutely fantastic sign. You get some of your older rare cases, they may have a little bit of fluctuation, but honestly even them, being that they are much more stable investments, most of them really haven't been affected in nearly any way. The majority of cases are now seeing very low listing quantities on the market, which is a really good sign of things to come, just being that people are hoarding onto these cases and most likely they're not trying to sell them in the current market. Always a great sign to see. I love the price movements we're seeing, and I think it's probably going to be continually moving forward. Now talking about the Playskins Market, it's a very contrasting story because we talked significantly about the light blue filler skins, and honestly those are in a pretty solid position. If we want to look at them, they are down a little bit because of everything going on inside the market, but overall if you look at the past month, they're roughly even, close enough to even, honestly speaking, that they're in a fine position. But if we want to talk about those blue skins, which are not really what I recommended, we can see exactly why. They are down significantly all across the board. Some of them, like the anodized navy, 20% in the past month. We're approaching a $2 price point. Now obviously they are still up significantly ever since the filler skin hype has really started, but it's very interesting here as obviously this is something that has just got so much more competition. People are really trying to get out of this area specifically, at least that's what's happening in my opinion. Obviously these are still up significantly, like I mentioned, ever since the beginning of this hype, but it's definitely interesting to see that the light blue filler skins have prevailed while the regular blue filler skins have really struggled at best inside of this area moving forward. Now talking about your armory as well, things are still getting much worse inside of this area. It's very interesting all across the board. We're seeing these ROIs drop, but it's not too surprising where specifically your collection stickers are still relatively relatively solid. The sport and field surprisingly has still got a fair amount of interest, most likely due to the fact that obviously it's got really easy trade up potential. Your charms are really nothing too special inside of this area, but when it really comes down to it, the collections on the bottom end significantly decreasing in ROI. 90% on the graphic collection, 87% on the overpass, and a mere 74% on that train 2025. Now if we want to look at the fundamentals, obviously people are still preferring these collection skins in comparison to nearly everything else for the Armory right now, but overall it seems like the Armory general interest is just low enough that honestly we can see these decreasing ROIs because no one's really interested in buying up these skins right now, especially with the fact is that they were not removed in that latest update. Some people thought they might be. Now we're probably in a period of stagnation for these moving forward, and if we want to look at the stats, it's not too surprising. Now one area I've really tried to check out a little bit more is going to be that agent market. Honestly, it's one that's really morphed into something worth a significant value overall, and if we want to look at it, we can see it's following a pretty standard general market trend inside of the current area. We're seeing a pretty significant decrease over the past 7 days and 30 days, and in the past 24 hours it seems like it's rebounded a pretty fair amount. It's a very good sign honestly for the agent market, showing that it does have that demand with it, which is one of my biggest concerns considering the supply is never removed from this area. It's looking solid right now for the agent market, which is good for those investors. Now I mentioned it briefly earlier, but right now is a great time to take example as to why we're not investing into active duty or honestly the fever or the gallery case, at least too strong of an investment. If we want to look at it, obviously neither of those were removed in the previous update, but more so these active duty cases are crashing down hard in price, at least some of them are, and therefore it's a very strong example as to why we don't want a volatile investment like that when overall our really strong investments inside of the rare case market are doing solid right now. They're not decreasing in price, but our active duty cases are going down significantly, which is just something that we honestly should be expecting when the overall market turns. Then the last area I wanted to hit on was the Playskins Market, and inside of this area we're basically seeing what we saw at the high tier market, but just a little bit more limited. If we want to look at it, the majority of these are down slightly, not as much as what we saw for the high tier items, which really makes sense. Honestly, there's a lot more people who are looking to buy these Playskins at maybe $10 to $50 even than trying to buy thousands of dollars worth of items. It's really something that is honestly making a lot of sense inside the current market because the majority of people that are playing this game are not too concerned about what happened with this update. It's the people that have tens of thousands of dollars inside of the market. The Playskins market right now is seeming solid, it's seeming decent, and it's honestly exactly what we would expect to see inside of this area. If you want some Playskins, it could be a slight discount to grab some. Now talking about what to watch right now, first up, I'm always watching these rare cases. I think it's a great opportunity to look into, but otherwise we've got any area that you're trying to make an investment into, whether that's agents, whether that's something that's a little bit like filler skins or just straight up regular skins, any area that you want to make an investment into, keep on watching it because there is a possibility that those prices could go back down a little bit and you could get in on the investment you really want. But that's all I got. Thank you so much for watching. Hope you have a great rest of your day.